I'm Jackson Rudolph with Team Paul Mitchell Karate, and this is your tip of the month for targeting. Targeting is one of the most widely disputed and argued about concepts of bow staff, and really about weapons in general. People are always trying to figure out what's the right target, where should I be striking, and pretty much everyone disagrees. But this is what the commonly accepted targets for competition are. For your forward strike, it's a little bit different than your other directional strikes. Forward strikes are always going to be targeted even with the nose. And the reason for that is there's two striking positions on a forward strike. You can strike down and break the collarbone, or you can strike at the temple and kill the person. So the problem with striking at the collarbone is that if we strike off to the side like this, it doesn't look nearly as pretty as when we are in the center. Striking to the nose signifies continuing through your target at the temple and all the way to the center. So striking at the nose, it creates a nice 45-degree angle, and it signifies that target towards the temple. So that one is practical quite a bit. Your other directional strikes, your up, down, side-to-side strikes, as well as your over-the-head strikes to the right and to the left, are a little bit less practical, because in reality you would be striking down into the ribs or up, hitting the head. However, as performance martial artists, we're basically ballerinas, right? So we have to make everything look as pretty as possible. And these choppy angles aren't necessarily as pretty, albeit they are more effective than angles that are straight off the shoulder. If you were actually in combat, would you ever walk up and hit somebody in the shoulder? No. But it looks much prettier if you can get that nice line extended, straighten out, especially when you're going to 45-degree angles. When I'm striking off to one side or off to the other, it looks much, much better to have a nice straight line coming directly off the shoulder. That being said, it is perfectly okay throughout a performance or throughout a combo to change up levels a little bit. Just make sure it's obvious that you're changing levels. For instance, if I wanted to do a higher strike, for instance, a high over the head strike, I would be going from a forward strike, up, down, side, side, overhead, and then I'd want to play that to a low angle. So I'd go high and then I'd switch sides maybe and go down low. That would look perfectly fine. What would not look okay is if you did your entire strike set angled up, because at that point it looks like you were just missing your strike targets and you were just aiming too high. But if you make it to where you're going in, hitting center, obviously going up, and then contrasting that with a lower angle, that's how you can make playing with angles look like something that you intentionally meant to do. One of the most frustrating ways to lose a tournament or to get downgraded by judges is a misinterpretation. So to some extent you want to spoon feed the judges and show them exactly what you want them to see. So if you want to change the angle up a little bit, make sure you change the angle to where it's obvious that you intended to strike there and that you weren't simply missing a target. So always make sure, just a review, forward strikes targeted at the nose, other directional strikes, up, down, side, sides, over the heads, even your thrusts, forward and reverse. You want to keep those in line with the shoulders because they create nice, pretty lines that are great for audiences, and judges tend to like the nicer looking lines as well. I'm Jackson Rudolph, and that is your targeting tip of the month.